everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Mike, you're muted.
Sure I am.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Woo! All right, nice. I love it. Hi, everybody. What if I just did the roll through the same exact thing again? Mike.
Ooh,
this
man.
is
what is that
Mike,
color? Are you using this the Centennial colors there?
Hell yeah. And I've been using it for quite a while, and you just now noticed.
Oh.
We go all the way back
for the people listening at home.
Like I got proof right here.
Episode
366 is where it started, and Mike, we are now on episode 369. It is so damn fine to see you, Mike. But I was gonna say I had this line planned, and now it's ruined. But I was gonna say, Mike, this is Emmitt Finnie's world. This is Emmitt Finnie's Red Wings. We're just ranting in it. I fudged it up. Shoot, the kids are right there too. All right, never mind. It double failed. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do a millennial version. Finnie finna make this team.
Oh,
I think the kids say finna now, but we clearly don't, because that felt really weird. Yeah. I don't know. Did you want to jump right into the red and white game? Hey, yeah, Brad throwing in the 369. Damn you, fine. I was trying to do that, Brad, and I totally didn't know the lyrics, so I'm glad you could help me out there.
Oh, I thought it was so damn fine.
Damn it.
I don't know.
Look what Max is wearing. He has no idea what those lyrics are.
I'm white. Mike, speaking of white, the red and white game was this weekend. So Mike, I texted you what I want to talk about with the red and white game, and I think it's very important for anyone who's considering going to hear this. It started, and Mike, I turned to you and I said, what are we doing? Because I want to go to a Red Wings game, and I want to have rooting interest, and for sure we got something out of it. We're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. I got to complain because I'm mad. And okay. I immediately was like, I've made a huge mistake. Like, we drove 2.5 hours to get there. When we left, we drove 2.5 hours back home, and we watched a nice little exhibition for an hour and a half. And I was thinking to myself, did we screw up?
Can I tell you that there's parts of me where I was a little worried about what did we invest our time in, right? Because it's just a practice. It's not like what I was envisioning was that, McClellan would blow a whistle and then storm out on the ice and, yell at somebody, which we didn't really get. It was a glorified, practice. But I think we wanted to go because I don't know how many times I'm actually going to be able to see Sandin-Pellikka this year. So I was, kind of pumped to see him in person. But I think one man made the whole trip worth it. And that man is the best player on our team. And that man is Mo Seider. Hey, look at that. We don't usually do a good job of sashaying our way into the next slide.
I knew what you were going to say.
Watching my hero, I was really excited for Sandin-Pellikka. He just looked like he was, skating on new ice with new people and a new pairing. He didn't really get to shine. But knowing that this Red Wing team has had an incredible streak of, not being competitive and then not really being a playoff team. And right now, I think they're predicted to be like 5th in their division. Some god-awful, projection by the algorithm. Mo Seider played in a glorified practice like he was going to will this team into the playoffs by himself. There's a lot of, I'd say, kind of eggshell skating. And I think McClellan even kind of noted it a few times where he was like, some guys are not really, you want to make the team. You don't want to have your foot on the brake. Like, you want to go.
Yeah.
Seider was out there picking fights with Kasper. He was out there picking fights with Larkin. He was hammering rookies. He was hammering veterans. This didn't look like a scrimmage to him. This looked like he was playing to participate in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think if you want to feel, we went because we wanted to see some of our prospects and see if they could kind of, be on par with, some of the guys who are going to make the opening night roster. I don't think you really got much of a taste of that because I kind of feel like the line combos, like they would kind of have, the first line and the second line go at it, the third and the fourth line, and then it would kind of trickle down to the guys who were, further down the Red Wing pecking order. But if you wanted to feel like there's some, you want to feel justified in ordering your brand new $300 Centennial jersey, and that this year's Red Wing team is going to be different, I think all you needed to do was watch a few minutes of Mo Seider being the most competitive bastard on the ice I can remember in recent history. So it was a little like when we got there, we kind of had this realization like, man, we're doing like 5 hours total driving to watch these guys kind of tee-hee around each other on the ice. And Mo Seider said, not on my goddamn watch. And he hammered guys he's about to go see in the locker room. So if you want to feel better, Mo Seider did that for us.
Jared wanted to know if he wanted confirmation that Mo trucked a guy. So my memory is, yes, there was the fight, roughing it up with Comfer. He absolutely laid out Nygard, and I think Max called out in his article that Nate was laid out too, and I just couldn't remember that one, but Mo was all over the place. And when Max was writing about training camp, he was talking about Elmer Soderblom getting thrown into the benches by Seider. So this is clearly a man on a mission this year. This is something like you write about later on in the year, like we're going to be talking about this later on of like Mo was telling us in September that he's ready to go. But you're right. I questioned immediately with the 5 hours of driving to get to essentially a practice exhibition. Who made it worth it? Moritz Seider did. And I gotta say, if you wanted to get excited about this season, I don't think we got it on July 1st, and we didn't get it in any transaction between July 1st and, of course, this weekend. And a lot of it just our conversations leading up to this training camp, leading up to the preseason here, are just like it kept revolving around like, yeah, if we're going to be better, it's because, and it's not always just us saying this because Steve Yzerman said it, but it's going to be our boys taking a step up, and it's going to be the young guys taking that step to the next level. And if you needed some proof, not only did Mo just truck guys, like Jared put it, I thought Lucas Raymond just felt like at one point, you know what, I'm going to tie this thing up, and did his double pump and wide open pass to Emmitt Finnie, who also had a great game. But those two, man, Lucas, Mo, I mean, this whole show
if you think about like Lucas, and it's been a rotating door on the other wing. And I think so far that's been a lot of the publications have been saying about the Red Wings so far, is still trying to figure out that first line. The coach has been saying it. The GM's been saying it. If they could find somebody with a little bit of skill up there, or not, crap their pampers every time, they're on a shift with Larkin and Lucas. If they could find somebody who knows what they're doing, that person would easily put up 100 points. Because Lucas, when you're watching, that many shifts, that close up, comparatively against other Red Wings who are like, top, first round picks and guys that, are getting paid big money. Lucas just, stands out far and away above pretty much every single Red Wing forward, skill wise, effort wise. So if you wanted to feel better about this season and see some guys who are taking a step up, it was Seider, it was Raymond, which, should that come as a surprise? No, but I think it's also one thing to be like, we're going to rely on internal development it's another thing to actually see some internal development and be like, damn, I guess these two guys are sick of losing.
Yeah.
So it made me feel better about making that sojourn out into Beer City. But I did want to touch on Jared Shaw saying, why did I say Shaw? Jared, I'm not used to saying your name, and that's what you get for calling me out. But saying full screen Mike is terrifying. Well, I was trying to channel my inner Shoshana from Inglourious Bastards. So there's a deep cut reference for you.
Playing around with some of the production tools in here while you were talking. You were making great points. I was listening, and I was like, I want to make you full screen because you're making great points. Brad thrown out there. Gandalf, Cider. You shall not pass. Sorry. I tried to give some distance between myself and the microphone for that scream. All right, but that Mike, that wasn't everything. But of course, we could kind of remind everyone again what we wanted to talk about again with the red and white game. But
I was just gonna say, as far as winners and losers go, can I throw another one out there who didn't make the slide?
Yeah.
I think sometimes, you read prospect articles and you read from guys who are, kind of just hanging out with the minor league team, and they'll kind of give you a little fluff piece about who looks like they belong at the NHL level. I was really excited to see ASP. He doesn't look ready. You know who looks double, triple ready is Lombardi. Good God.
Yeah.
It seemed like every time he had a shift, he was doing something positive. He just looked quicker than everybody else. He really stood out. And I don't know if you heard my partner yelling at our dog. But Lombardi, I would put him on this list as well. Not the physical presence of Cider, not quite the skill of Lucas, of course, but man, as far as like standing out, I would definitely want to make sure that I don't know what he's got to do to make the opening night roster. I don't know how many fake my arm injuries that we got to put on the injured reserve to get him up there, but this would be a candidate if we're going to do some healthy scratches and soft injuries.
Yeah, and if you were judging this game by its box score, you'd be like, oh yeah, Soderblom did great. Put him on the first line. He's the left wing for Larkin and Lucas. But I think what made Soderblom look so great was Lombardi. He got paired perfectly with a guy who's going to be a playmaker and make Soderblom just look absolutely fabulous. He's the guy who carried the puck in for Soderblom's shot from above the circles. He's the guy that set that whole play up and brought people in front of him and gave Soderblom the space to shoot the puck. And then I think it was just a play by Lombardi up front that resulted in Elmer getting out. Did he get 2 goals? Is that what I'm?
Yeah, I think he had 2 goals.
Yeah. So then that was the play up front. Lombardi helping Soderblom really just stand out. But hopefully coaches are doing more than staring at the box score. I think the other thing, Axel definitely looked like a rookie. I didn't see the only thing, and I'm not mad at Axel. I'm not disappointed. We have been talking for such a long time about let's just get Axel in there. And we do have some evidence of Lucas Raymond, his first time on North American ice and impressing so much. And there were some injuries, and it was like, get him in there. And that was because we saw a guy immediately, like in the preseason, we were like, wow, this guy's killing it. And then it was like 2 weeks in, he got a hat trick. I'm not seeing that from Axel right now. And I think Todd has thrown it out there too. He wants to see some more offense from Axel. And we'll talk about the preseason game here in a second. But I think that rounds out the red and white game. I don't know if you want to put a capper on it before we move forward.
No, I would just say I think it is it's a fun little event to go to once. But I think it really just made me more excited to see, what they look like in the regular season. Everybody healthy, new goalie, and then hopefully some fake soft tissue injuries to get some of our young guys up on the roster.
Well, we got to see another peek at him, Mike, last night. Detroit against Chicago. You can take a look up and down the roster that we went toe-to-toe with Chicago with. Chicago had Bedard out there. Mike, as I said, I mean, go up and down this roster. Seager, Finnie, Beecher, Berggren, Leonard, Bear, Compher, Mazer, Danielson, Brandsegg-Nygard, Watson, and Dries. Defense, you got Buyum, Sandin-Pellikka, Mitchell, Hamonic, Wallander, Lagesson, and then the goalies, Kosa and Postava. So there's no Kasper, Kane, DeBrincat, Lucas, or Larkin in this lineup. I mean, you could keep going with Cop and Cop. So this is a young lineup, and they handily it by all accounts, especially on the shot chart. I think at one point, the last time I checked the shot chart, and then I fell asleep actually last night. I took some NyQuil pretty early on. Mike, I am still sick as a dog right now.
Nice.
So I conked out, but the last I looked, it was like 39-13 on the shot chart. So it was something where the Red Wings came in hot and owned that game from a possession standpoint. But yeah, I mean, we have so many things to talk about, but you gotta take a look at, as we always do, the hockey stat card highlights. Emmitt Finnie, absolutely killing it, not just from the eyeball test, like we were talking about, watching how good he looked in the red and white game, statistically as well. Yeah. Our boy's bringing it, and we do have some highlights we want to look at too. But
nice.
Yeah, we'll go.
Emmitt Finnie finna make this team. You look good in the red and white game. You look good against the real Blackhawks, the real NHL team. Who, man, they might be the worst team in hockey, but they still look good against the professional NHL hockey team. Oh, and then, hey, we get the quote here, Matt. I'm glad you threw this in here. Todd McClellan saying, yeah, one of the kids had a tremendous night tonight. Push the gas as hard as they could. Talking about Finnie, Danielson, and Brandsegg at the arena. Just want you guys to know, in Grand Rapids, they did call him Nygard. So they said knee instead of nye.
Yeah, I just can't get
that was the in-house. That was the in-house announcer. So I feel like he's had to say it a few times. And somebody called out Kosa for not being super impressive yet. No, not really. But I want you to know that if you want to feel better about him, just go to a Grand Rapids Griffins game where they call him the big guy.
The big guy.
Kosa. You know. But anyway, Matt, I feel like Bernie Smilets. And Matt, you've got highlights. All right. What do you got for us?
I mean, we're watching this Finnie play from up front, and it's just incredible with his size that he is willing to go up front like that. But to make the play that he did, I think you're right. I think you got to remember, like, this is the Blackhawks. This was the young squad that they're trotting out there. But this is, Mike, this is just toughness going up in front of the net. But this is just a beautiful play. This is something where you're wrapping in that hockey smarts, skill,
and this
grit.
is kind of the opposite end of the goal that he scored because of Lucas Raymond, right? Where he was kind of eating up the hard effort of somebody else. So this was him kind of setting a goal up on a tee. So kind of cool to just see him on both ends of that play.
Yeah, and it's nice too to like kind of have these conversations about these guys that are in, right? They're in the right place at the right time. And like we actually used to talk a lot about like Berggren's ability to do that, be in the right place at the right time and finish. But it's different, I think, sometimes to take a look at the guys that are going to be in the right place at the right time and set up those goals, where Berggren just always kind of seemed to be putting the garbage away. But go ahead, you're giggling up a score.
One of my favorite commenters, Burner Account Matt, welcome aboard, Burner Account Matt. Said, if Finnie makes the NHL at any point this season, I'll never ask for Steve to be fired again.
Do you? I mean, I'm gonna show his game winning goal. Yeah, how do I want to say that? While we take a look at that, I mean, I honestly think it's like it's done. We're in stone. Like,
I mean, this was a Mr. Irrelevant, right? I don't want to undersell it. He was a Mr. Irrelevant, 7th rounder, pick 201. A lot of teams passed on him, and now he might be on our first line, which is literally insane. It's literally insane that there's nobody else who could step up besides this ne'er-do-well 7th rounder. I don't know if we should be proud or ashamed of the other draft picks that we made who couldn't quite make it up to the Finnie level. But excited for him to kind of show out here.
Yeah, and again, I think the question at the bottom here, exciting but concerning if he has to fill that spot. And it's better to say like he's earning the spot and we see it right away. We already talked about in the red and white game how he's able to, find chemistry with Lucas Raymond to run up the ice with him, take that double pump like a champ and know that he's getting the pass and then finish too, like not sailing that puck over the net. But yeah,
I'm so glad you mentioned that, by the way. That Lucas Raymond double pump shot, not since Nikola Jokic of the Denver Basketball Nuggets have I seen that many pump fakes to get one bucket. That was incredible. I don't know how many double pump fakes there are in hockey, but that was the best one I've ever seen.
I'm pretty sure this is it. But yeah, here's Lucas.
Look at this double.
1, 2,
bam. Beautiful.
Ah!
First name Dixon, last name Sider. Welcome aboard, saying, finally found you all live so I could talk my poo. Like it.
Well, it's turned into the Emmitt Finnie show, so we're celebrating here on oh god, gotta hide those tabs from you guys. Whew. Yikes. That was a close one. But yeah, it's been a while, Mike. I feel like since we've been able to do this and like show like actual highlights, pro highlights, not have to like talk about a guy who's killing it in a secondary league or anything like that. And for sure, again, this was preseason. It's against a lot of rookies on both sides, but you either do it or you don't.
You know, tongue in cheek, we are making fun of the Blackhawks, but you arguably played their opening night lineup with your scrubs and rookies.
Too true.
Yeah. So you got to feel a little good about that. So God forbid, the entire team misses the game because the bus went down the wrong street and you got to call up Grand Rapids in an emergency game. You could still hold your own against the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right. So great pass, finishes a couple of times, right place, right time.
Are you reading McClellan quotes as Matt or as Jesse the Body Ventura McClellan?
Oh, I
don't know if you've been working on that one or not.
Do you want me to restart? I haven't. I'm gonna like have to go through the catalog right now of what Jesse sounds like. If he just keeps doing these things, the days will keep ticking on, and we'll eventually have to make decisions. I feel like I'm leaning too hard into a Jesse who's just had a good conversation with Jack Daniels. All right, so yeah, this is McClellan. If he just keeps doing these things, the days will keep ticking on, and we'll eventually have to make decisions. We talked about Alex Laferriere. We had him in Los Angeles. It was kind of the same thing. Every day he kept coming, and we just kept on going. And pretty soon it was Christmas, and he was still there. And now I'm not saying Emmitt is that player, but that's how it happens sometimes for some. And he's on the right track. And again, to kind of throw out there too, we put all those asterisks on this performance. But Mike, how many guys did have a great play and assist to Carter Mazur and the game-winning goal? Nobody else. Just Emmitt Finnie. So again, you either do it or you don't. And this is some consecutive games now, the red and white game, this preseason game. Good turnout in Traverse City for training camp. By all accounts, we weren't there, but by all accounts, Emmitt Finnie stood out.
That's pretty high praise too. I mean, to just say that this could be I'm already envisioning this guy being on the team throughout the 82 games. It could be something that happens. I mean, he passed the eyeball test. He's got the approval of the coaches, so it's definitely something pretty cool to watch. Because again, you don't get, hey, eyeball test, man. We're doing really good going from slide to slide today. Yeah, it's something to be optimistic about. I do love Soderblom, but I confess that I do think he's best served on the fourth line or, a specialist on the power play where it looks like Finnie could actually handle his own skating wise and, give you some good 5-on-5 minutes.
All right. So yeah, this is McClellan. Yeah, Matt throws out there. I'd say the entire line of Finnie, Danielson, MBN were dominant in that game. Those are my standouts and passed the eyeball test. Nate and Mike. I did put in there for. Are we gonna say Nygard or Nygard? But for Nygard, I want to see more, and I want to see it more consistent. A lot of this too is I'm like coming off that red and white game. I would have liked to see a little bit more. He got some power play time, and it was just like, get open, man. You're going up against rookies, man. Get open. There was one point where Axel and Nygard made a good play together, and that was like the most exciting part of that game for the red and white game for me, for Nygard. But yeah, I feel like it's another game where I want to see even more. And I would give an A+ to Nate and Emmitt, and I want to give an A+ to Nygard too. I think it was still a great performance from that entire top line, but I would give the nod to anything that worked out for that whole line. I'm leaning more towards Nate and Emmitt bringing the heat, and Carter Mazur too. I'm always liking his game. Looks strong, physical, and he does add those bits of grit. And like we saw too, he was there to bury in Emmitt's incredible pass. So good to see that too. Good to see for a guy Carter too, who obviously only got like that minute of ice time, less than a minute of ice time in his first game last year. Mike, you and I were there.
God, that was sad.
Heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good to see Carter kind of stand out as well. Be noticeable.
The other standout, Dixon, he's aiming for his comment of the episode, but he's still got to beat burner account Matt, saying Bedard makes ASP look like Chara. Well,
I'll take it.
I don't know if I quite agree, but it made me laugh. And Dixon, that I approve. Thank you, sir.
Well, we do kind of go the other way though, for who fell short. And this kind of goes for like the red and white game and for the preseason. When I was kind of mapping this out, you don't really feel too bad about that preseason game from any direction. But for these two experiences combined, and I'm taking Todd McClellan's take on this with too many first rounders playing it safe. Mike, you mentioned this earlier today too. I think you had his exact quote where it was like too many guys are pumping the brakes instead of hitting the gas.
Yeah. It was just so evident when you watch somebody like Mo Seider, who he doesn't have that setting, and every time he was out there, he was just hammering people. Yeah. So to kind of see these young kids, kind of doing some shoulder rubbing, but no real checking. It was kind of a relief to see Mo Seider kind of be the leader and be like, no, we're playing a competitive sport. So if banging into dudes is going to lead to victory, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be banging into dudes. Charles Barkley style. There you go. But yeah, the first rounders did play it safe. I think that's the other thing that makes Mr. Irrelevant so interesting. He did not play it safe at all. He just went out there and played a pretty confident game. So I don't know if that's going to I don't know if that's going to inspire those other dudes to kind of be like, hey, I'm not going to get a job because of this like 7th round pick. Maybe guys will start busting their ass a little bit more.
Yeah.
Would be interesting to see. But yeah, I think the biggest concern was, I know you wrote depth defense, but it's just like the starting defense. Outside of Seider, it still looks like the exact same problem. Maybe Johansson will be, he'll be fine with Edmondson. But yeah, it still kind of feels like a spot we're sorely missing and just lacking in talent. And there's no rah-rah speech that McClellan can really give for, dudes who don't really have that level, that next level.
Yeah, and it's scary too to have to think of the prospect of starting the season without Edmondson and what this is going to look like. But yeah, I know Justin Hall ended up scoring a goal that didn't count in the red and white game, which was hilarious.
It was so representative of his Red Wing career.
Yeah.
Even though he did something right, nobody saw it.
Didn't count.
Nope.
But But yeah, there are a lot of points in that red and white game, and you and I got a great chance to like focus on our end of the ice because we couldn't see the other end. There are so many times you're just watching Ben Sherratt and you're like, man, that guy, he's in mid-season form, but because he looks dog tired already, like he's really like struggling to get up the ice. And it's like, come on, man. You're gonna be getting first pair minutes coming up in a couple of weeks. Wake up. But it doesn't bring a lot of confidence. There's a lot of time. Same thing for Axel, who fell short. This doesn't mean like we chances of him getting a shot this year have like disappeared. No, just means on those next opportunities, we want to see a little bit more. Otherwise, I totally trust the decision to not put him in this lineup, to be completely honest. Not seeing the game-changing sort of impact, like very noticeable game-changing impact that I want to see, like we already talked about with like Lucas Raymond a few years back. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I think just the last coda on what you were saying is like we did see some glimpses. Oh man, Matt's kid's going ham in the background.
you can hear that.
Yeah, we did see glimpses, right, from some of the forwards so far, but I'm hoping we can kind of see those same glimpses from somebody on defense. I'm begging you. And I think it is probably asking a little much of Axel, but man, he's my baby boy. I hope he can figure it out.
Well, I got to tell you, one thing we haven't talked about enough, though. So the Finnie hype train keeps rolling. One thing we haven't talked enough, Patrick Kane, DeBrincat, Marco Kasper.
That looks like a pretty damn good line.
Yeah. We got half of a season of that last year. They looked ready to roll, too. And we talked about Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider look like they're taking that step up. Not that, hey, they were fantastic last year. You could argue those were our MVPs last year. But it looks like we're going to have the ability here to finally roll a top six that is not just, what do we always say Steve said? He's got to put skates on the ice, or he's got to ice a team. Yeah, he's got to ice a team. No, this is formidable. And Mike, I don't know if you remember, but we both looked at each other at that red and white game. We were like, is Patrick Kane trying to win a Selke? What the heck's going on here? But my man was back checking, stealing pucks. He was not letting anything go. Now, for sure, the talent he was facing wasn't the best that he will see this year. However, it was good again to see him playing pretty hard on the defensive side.
He's a little. Can we use the word frisky? A little frisky out there. A little frisky.
Feisty. Frisky implies. I feel like he was like, pinching guys' butts to like get them to lift their stick.
That's what he was
doing,
like,
hey, come here. Hey,
come here. Give me that. And it kind of reminded me of a hungry cat. He's just kind of around your legs going, hey, give me that. And tripping you down the stairs to get him a bowl of cat food so he can go score. And I think burner account Matt missed the start. I think he did. But he's just agreeing with us that he hoped Lombardi continues to stay hot through the preseason. Yeah, he's played really well. In those first inevitable, sports injuries happen. Wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the first guys called up.
That actually might be an interesting thing. We probably should have put that together, but if it was Finnie, Lombardi not making this lineup, and a few other guys, how we would line them up to say who should get the call up first based off these first couple of games. But I think that's it right there. Like number one to me is Finnie. Number two is Lombardi. Maybe number three is Nate at that point. And I don't think that's really, I want to like say Nate played worse than Emmitt Finnie or Amadeus Lombardi, but I do think I want to protect Nate a little bit more, if that makes sense, and keep him in Grand Rapids, have him do the real-time growth, but I feel like that's how my list would break down.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be ample opportunities. Maybe I don't even know if it's on a. I'm going to say it's a skill level, but I'd forgotten that Appleton, who we signed for 2 seasons at $3 million apiece, He's played 82 games one time, Matt. This is his past 5 years. 71 games, 82 games, 41, 49, 19, and we'll go to 56, 46, 30. So this is not a full-time player. Okay, so this is going to be there's definitely going to be opportunities for these young guys to get games played, because I don't know what we're really going to expect from, Austin Watson is listed as an NHL contract. Appleton, I don't know, Van Riemsdyk, what are we expecting out of him? Can't be very much.
I get so scared when people are like, well, there's your first line left winger. And it's like,
I hope not.
But that's where I put in here, like, these depth battles are going to define this roster. But also the final point here is that help may still be needed before the season starts. I shouldn't say may. It's definitely still needed. You don't want to be like, the big battle is your first line left wing. Mike, if you're going to sit here and say, like, oh, you know what, you could put Soderblom up there, you could put Finnie up there,
yeah,
you could put Van Riemsdyk up there. What's the famous line? It's like when you think you have like 2 quarterbacks, you actually have no quarterbacks.
Right.
So it's, well, you think you have 3 guys that could fit. No, you want a no doubter, no brainer on your first line in the left wing. It should not be a battle to get that spot in the preseason, but
yeah, it would be nice if we could figure that spot out, and then one more defenseman, who's good, not a 5, 6, 7 depth guy, who just like kind of plays even, like a good defenseman and a left wing on the first line. Which, as excited as we are for Finnie, I think it's important to remember that, like, good teams are going to play their first liners, like 20 plus minutes a game. And so are we really going to be playing Van Riemsdyk at age 36, 20 plus minutes a game against, like, the other team's top lines? That's kind of insane. It's kind of insane that it's either him or Mr. Irrelevant. That is insane. Those are our 2 contingency plans to play with 2 guys we're paying, what, $16 million a year? And then we're going to have some jabroni on the other side. That's insane.
It's pretty wild that we're bookending the top 6 with Van Riemsdyk and Patrick Kane. That's pretty wild. All right, Mike, we got one last topic.
Woo!
Mike, can we fill out that top 6 with some help? From
another
greatest
38-year-old. Bring him home.
Yeah, bring him home to Detroit. There was an article from The Athletic that brought this up. Sydney's been teasing it more and more as the preseason's been going on here. And he has been making jokes about joining Montreal. I like Max's take. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, I think the Red Wings would love to trade for him. I like these thoughts. It is funny, Mike, that everyone that we're talking about trading for, if it's Raquel, obviously we've talked a lot about Erik Karlsson. The Pittsburgh Penguins are supposed to suck this year, and we keep trying to pull every player from that team. Maybe we got to rethink this, because it might not be the best team to fantasy
to pillage from.
Trade. Yeah, every fantasy trade we come up with is like, well, we got Rust. He'll come over here. He'll be available. And it's like, well, also, if the Penguins keep him and all the rest of the guys that we're trying to trade for, they're going to come in last place in the Metro. So, but anyway, it is a fun little thing to look at. And again, Max's take is spot on. I think we'd love to have him, but he has a full no move clause, so he will be deciding where he's going to go. And I don't know if he cares so much for Detroit and its fans after the way we have and still do treat Sidney
I feel like
Crosby.
These guys care more about, like, how passionate you are versus, do you hate me? Like, are you telling me this guy comes in and, like, scores on 3 Lucas Raymond assists that the city Detroit's not going to welcome this guy? That's all we want, is for you to be good here. I don't think it would take him very long to, endear himself to Red Wing fans.
I think ultimately, if this happened, this would be really exciting. I'd be stoked. And also, I feel like if I could grow out my mustache a little, but I've always been told I kind of look like Crosby. So I'm gonna see if I can.
Well,
if we trade for him, I'm getting the jersey. I'm gonna buy a helmet and I'm gonna wear it for every episode of the podcast.
J-Dub says, I don't want Crosby to leave Pittsburgh.
Blake says there's zero chance he joins the Wings.
Well, now I feel pretty good about our odds. Thanks, Blake.
I feel like it's either going to be Colorado or Montreal. That's kind of where my head's at. I don't know.
I don't know. I think whoever gets Crosby is also going to get like, Carlson. Like it's going to be like a bundle. Like, yeah, you can have him, but you also got to eat this $10 million a year, and then just give us draft picks to figure things out in the future.
My only pushback against that is that pretty much says it's like the Ducks, because that's a lot of money to take on. So it's like the Ducks or the Blackhawks, and I think it's going to be on the opposite side.
We're sitting at 11. We're almost at 12 million right now. So I mean, you're just using half of that for one player, and then the other chunk is the players that you're giving up. So I don't think it's that crazy. It just means that we're no longer going to have this, $12 million cap space.
True. Very true. I wouldn't mind it, but, as much as I love to disagree with Blake, I think he might have this one right. All right. Mike, we're going to wrap up. That's all we got for today. Obviously, we're light with, that being the only trade rumor to discuss. Preseason starting. We're happy Emmitt Finnie's making a difference, but I'm also still under the weather, so I didn't have enough time to come up with more topics, but appreciate you guys coming aboard. Happy we're getting rolling here again.
Hopefully when you listen to this tomorrow, we're celebrating a Tigers win.
Jesus,
what a collapse, huh?
What a disaster. I mean, what, like, to talk about like the difference of a couple of weeks, like where we're talking about Tigers playoffs and like at the time, like the Lions are losing to the Packers and, we can't get more than 6 points before Tesla does a one-handed grab. And you're just like, what the hell is this season going to be? And now fast forward 2 weeks, Tigers are out of the playoffs. The Lions just went toe to toe in a heavyweight battle and just dominated in the trenches.
Oh yeah. They pulled those Ravens pants down and spanked their bare butt. Yeah.
I love, the takes on that game. We haven't talked about it yet, you and I. But so many people are watching that game. They're like, I've never seen a game end with such a close score, but look so one-sided. Like, I agree. I thought the Lions just like absolutely could do whatever they wanted, and they didn't go away from their game plan. The only thing is that Lamar's on the other side. So yeah, they're gonna score because they have probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation on their team. So it's gonna be tough to stop them from scoring. But you did exactly what you needed to do to get the job done.
I don't think since like Bill Belichick have I seen like a coaching regime so in tune with receipts. Like, he was thinking about that 38-6 game from 2 years ago, and he's like, nope, we're going to take it to him, man. And all they did was just dominate on the offensive line, dominate on the defensive line. Jared Shaw, throwing in 7 sacks. But yeah, I mean, our guards were just eating them up in the inside, and it was just easy to get, 6-7 yards every single carry on offense. It was... I couldn't even go to sleep. I went to bed and it was like Christmas. I was just giddy, like, man, this is what it's like to have a real team. This is so cool. And I wish that we could get that feeling for our winged wheel hockey team, man. Maybe one day. Maybe we finna see some Finnie up in the first line.
What? Hey, you know what? I mean, to compare, we probably have, if Cider really does roll into the season with what we've been seeing so far in training camp and that red and white game, you got your hutch ready to go. Just got to keep building from there. All right, guys, I said we were going to leave. I'm going to bounce. Thank you for coming aboard, and we'll see you guys next week.
Let's go!